So it is 2:30 in the morning and I cannot sleep. And for some reason, I got the idea of why don't I try and get into Mensa without studying for the test? And I went with that idea. I've signed up on Mensa's website, paid a fee, and I'm waiting to hear back when I can take a test. And I think this deserves some explanation. Now, I don't really care too much about these high IQ societies. I think they're a bit elitist, to be perfectly honest. And I don't really want to differentiate myself by IQ. I never really cared to know what my IQ was growing up. I imagine it's something above average, considering I have 3 degrees in physics, so I think that's a fair assumption to make. But if it's not, then I don't know. I think it'll be a great example of, hey, you don't need a super high IQ to do multiple degrees in physics. So, yeah. Either way, for me, it's going to be an interesting experiment. So today is the day of the Mensa test. It's going to be at noon, and it's like 8:30 right now, and I really wish I got more sleep. I think I'm just going to go back to sleep and get up around like 10 or something. It's Saturday, so, had nothing else to do at noon today, so I guess this will be interesting. The thing about these Mensa exams, I saw a video from Tibis, who's a great physics YouTuber. If you haven't seen her stuff, you should really watch her stuff. It's great. I actually met Tibis recently, a few months ago. She was visiting NASA Ames of all places. But she showed an example of what this exam looks like, and that's like the only reference I have for what a Mensa test looks like. It's her video, and it looks like it's just a bunch of shapes that you got to match with each other. But I heard that there's more to it, and I was always terrible with standardized tests in school. Like, I never did good on a standardized test, like the SAT. Like, I didn't do awful, but I never did like amazing. Like, I was never top tier in that thing. So this will be interesting. Like I said the other day, I think high IQ societies like Mensa are a tad bit elitist, in my honest opinion. Though in the age of artificial intelligence, where companies are now claiming their AI models are on par with a human of an IQ of 120 or an IQ of 130, whatever, I do think it might be useful to have some sort of litmus test to sort of benchmark myself against these things. I mean, obviously I have a PhD in physics. I don't care about something to tell me if I'm smart or not. Anyways, that's what I think going into this. I didn't study for this. I'm just going to show up and be like, all right, give me the test and let me move on and see if I get it or not. So I am about to drive to San Jose and take this Mensa test in about 45 minutes. It's going to be about 90 minutes, the test, and no idea what to expect. I am just going to show up, going to be like, here's my ID, here's my receipt for the test, give me the test, and let me take the test. So that's the building where the testing is supposed to take place. I have never been here before. I'm here in San Jose somewhere. It's a really hot day, and I'm very much looking forward to getting this over with. Well, we're off to a great start because I tried the front door and it didn't open, and it says use the back door. So, okay, I'm going to go to the back door. Hopefully I can even just get into the building to take this test, but, we'll see. It's a pretty nice bathroom. Gotta go before you take a test, So I just finished the Mensa exam. That was probably one of the more unpleasant things I've ever had to do in the past 10 years since high school. It literally was in this testing center that gave me the same vibes as when I took like the SAT and like the GRE to get into grad school. Those sort of standardized tests. There was like a whole room full of people who were there for whatever tests they were taking. It felt like I was in the DMV or something. Just a lot of chairs, a lot of people, and very strict with, you can't have your phone or any of your personal belongings on you. You just have to just go in there and you're just given a pencil on some scratch paper. So very unpleasant. And the questions were pretty challenging towards the end of those sections. Like some sections, I'd say pretty much all the sections I could not finish in the allotted time. Like it was like do 40 questions in 10 minutes or 35 questions in 5 minutes. And like the first questions at the start were pretty easy, but then by the end, I was having to think quite a bit. So I don't know how I did. Also, there was a glitch at the end where my computer said the assessment was done and to log out of the browser, but I couldn't log out, and then I had to go talk to the administrator, and it was this whole issue. So I have no idea what happened there, but all I can say is I'm done, and I'm glad, and I hope I never have to do that again. I have my decision from Mensa, and I've had it for the past few days now, but I went away on a trip, so I haven't had time to record. But without further ado, drum roll please. Okay, no drum roll, just kidding. But I got in, so I did qualify for Mensa. I got the email, and I'm actually very surprised, or I was surprised when I got this back on October 9th. I just was thinking to myself, interesting. I didn't answer every question on the exam. Unfortunately, I would love to tell you more about the exam, but the YouTuber Flammable Maths, who I watched a couple of years ago, did a Mensa exam, got in, and then there was this whole debacle with Mensa threatening him legally because he talked about their exam. And so after I saw that, I thought I will not talk about the exam in great detail, or any detail at all, just in fear of that retribution. So come on, Mensa, chill. But okay. And they also mentioned here that they cannot provide us with a detailed report with scores, percentile ranks, or IQ. So don't really know what my IQ is, but Mensa does have a 98th percentile cutoff, which it seems, based on different sources, is around 132, which I guess kind of makes sense based on this sort of traditional IQ bell curve distribution. I also found this funny graphic, which I saw back in college, which it really, I don't think, means that much, but it's from ETS, which is from the same organization that have the SAT and the GRE as their sort of main exams they give out. And when I was in college, of course, as a very arrogant physics major and math minor, when I saw this graphic, of course I was thinking, oh wow, look at me, I'm so special, majoring in physics and math, and we're at the top of the food chain here in terms of IQ. So based on this very cherry-picked evidence, I think a safe lower bound for my own personal IQ is around 132, I'm guessing. But I wanted to spend some time talking about just what does it really mean, and does it even matter, right? And personally, I don't want to say that intelligence has no bearing, because intelligence has been one of the gifts that I've been blessed enough to receive, and I don't want to bring it down in the sense that it's not important, because it is. And I have a brother who has a developmental disability. He has a very severe form of autism, and I've seen him have difficulty go through life since I was a kid. He's my younger brother, and so obviously that really affected me. And I don't want to give off the idea that I don't think intelligence means nothing, because without it, I definitely couldn't have been able to do the things that I've wanted to do in life, like major in physics, go on and do a PhD in physics. Ultimately, it's not so much that one has intelligence, but what does one choose to do with it? Because I think if you're somebody who has a great intelligence, but you don't use it for the benefit of all humankind, then what was the point of it all, right? And I think that's kind of how I see what I would like to do moving forward with my life, in the sense that I acknowledge that I've had the immense privilege to be able to do the things I've been able to do. I mean, in terms of being able to go to college and get a good job and make these YouTube videos about physics and math for the past 6 years. I mean, it's all been a privilege to do, and I want to be able to show that I really care about helping the world improve. And I think that artificial intelligence will help the world do that, in the sense that if we can all have a buddy that is, an AI buddy that is 120 IQ or 150 IQ, however high IQ it will ever get, right, with us, then I think that just raises everyone up. But I don't know how far away we are from that. Another thing, like I said, I have been repeating throughout this whole video too, is that I think that IQ is a little bit overrated, and we should also think about things like EQ, emotional quotient, as well. I don't really know much about IQ and EQ studies at all. I don't know how that relates to like MBTI and Myers-Briggs
personality test. I think one of the things that I've appreciated in life is being told that I have a decently high EQ from people, and that people feel like I have some sort of emotional intelligence as well. And I think that emotional intelligence is actually what's helped me immensely in life as well, in addition to IQ, of course. I think that being able to connect with others and communicate in a respectful and courteous way has served me greatly throughout my life. And I think that a lot of high IQ people could learn a lot by watching some high EQ people go about life. And again, I'm not so sure what it all means at the end of the day. Should one feel sad if they do or don't get into Mensa? I don't think so. I have failed many a test in my life. Like I said, I think I finished around the 80-ish to 85th percentile when I took the SAT, which is a lot higher than I remember. I remember just thinking the total like 1860 over 2400. I didn't think that was a great score, but apparently for that year it was pretty good. But for the GREs, I definitely did not that great. I definitely fell under the 80th percentile on both the verbal and the quantitative sections. I was also going through some rough patches in life at that point, and my physics GRE score was like in the 40s. So I don't consider myself to be really that special when it comes to standardized test taking. And really, what does it measure? We have, in the United States at least, this sort of one-size-fits-all testing system that tries to assess someone's competency in a very restricted set of domains and topics that, while are important, are not everything. And that, if you gave me the task of changing a car tire in 10 minutes, I would probably fail. Or cook a nice dinner for a guest, I would also probably fail in that regard. So it's like that old Einstein saying, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid, right? And I think that's unfortunately the reality that a lot of people find themselves in the educational systems of the world, because they might have really great talents in things that are not typically assessed at school, and so they are never really given their opportunity to shine. I was fortunate enough to be somebody who really liked school and really liked learning, and so school just sort of put me up on a pedestal and said, oh, this is a very bright person. But personally, I find myself to be quite dumb all the times. I mean, I was literally pulling on a push door the other day with the sign looking right at me. So I don't think it means much, like these tests. So anyways, I think I've rambled long enough. It was an interesting experiment. I think that our human intelligence in the age of artificial intelligence is being challenged, right? And I don't know what the ramifications are. I personally think it's great that everyone will have access to these supposedly high IQ AI models to help them with their day-to-day life, and I just generally hope that this will be a benefit to humanity. So that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed watching. Sorry for the rambling. But if you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you all next time.